Hey everybody, it is Sunday, and I am doing some tank maintenance, and I thought it would just be fun to try and shoot a quickish video of some of my tanks and what I have going on and like my different projects. Just show you some of the Jacobson jungle that we have, and some of the things that I'm working on. So here we go. This is my bedroom actually, and we have lots of plants in here. Here's an aloe, a geranium that I've had forever, and this is our banana tree, because everybody needs a banana tree in their bedroom. So that's what I've got going on here. Next, one of the projects I'm working on right now is I picked up on sale on Petco because they have their 50% off and their $1 gallon sale going on. I picked up a 6-gallon cube tank. So I just water tested it. And then today I'm going to take out the water and start aquascaping it because everything went well. So yes, that is a project that I'm doing. I'm going to put in, this is a cube, it's frameless. So you can't really hang off the back, so I hear. So I'm gonna use a sponge filter in this guy, and I'm really excited. I'm just gonna make it like heavily planted, and since it's just 6 gallons, it's small. It's the smallest tank I own. I'm just gonna probably do 1 pea puffer. I've never done pea puffers, but they seem really cool. They're like dwarf puffer fish, and I kind of wanted to give them a try. So I think this would be fun to make a really cool aquascape with some natural stone, some cerulean stone. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but I have it in one of my other tanks that you will see. And so I'm going to do some of that stone, some Eco Complete probably. I haven't decided if I'm going to put any sand in there as well, and then a ton of plants. Just do a bunch of plants, make it a very heavily planted, very natural looking tank, so it'll be pretty for me to enjoy while I'm working in my office, because I have a home office where I do all of my work. Also, I have a 7-foot Norfolk pine tree in my office, who was a recent addition. She used to be in my basement, and I think she's way happier up here, and it's fun to have her here, to have a big tree in my office setup, so that's kind of fun. All right, moving on. My hallway with my weird paintings. I like sad puppy dog paintings. My kitchen with more weird paintings. That's my husband's lobster that's playing a cello, I think. Sean, is that a cello he's playing? It's a bass. It's a bass. This is my kitchen and one of my other projects. So this is one of my other projects I'm working on. So this is a 35-gallon hex tank, which I just resealed because I bought it used and some of the seals look kind of questionable. So I just resealed it on Thursday night. It's Sunday. I'm gonna give it the full 7 days to cure, just because I like to be extra safe. So I will probably water test it next weekend, and then I'm so excited to finally start aquascaping this. It is going to be a sorority, a beta sorority. So I don't know if you have ever heard about that, but you can keep female betas together if you keep them in groups of at least 6. So I will probably have like 6 or 8 in here, and then I'll have some what are called dither fish. Sorry, the lighting is terrible because I got a bright window behind me. Dither fish, which will be just like a community fish that is more passive and friendly, and it kind of just helps having some of those fish in there to like balance out any aggression that the betas might have, to have kind of distraction and other things going on with other fish in there. So I'll probably do guppies, or probably guppies. I also have a lot of mollies on hand, as you will see, so that's always a possibility. But anyhow, I'm excited about this one because it's going to be, you can kind of see, I started just playing around. This is not at all what the finished product's gonna look like. I haven't even water tested it yet, but I've got driftwood in here, and I'm gonna have my driftwood kind of set up in a way where it looks like a big tree, and then I will have these like coconut huts hanging from the sides here on shelves, because I kind of want it to be like a treehouse, Ewok village vibe. I've got like little rope ladders and stuff too that are gonna go in here to make it look like a very treehouse type of village. And again, I'm gonna make it heavily planted, probably with Eco Complete in the back, and then I am gonna have like a sandy front up here, just because sometimes I like to incorporate sand in my tanks, and if I have Cory cats, which I might do some Cory cats in here, they like that sand. So this is gonna be really cool. This will also have a lot of plants. I'm planning on doing plants like to go on these shelves to kind of hide the floating shelves a little bit so it doesn't look like superficial, so it looks more natural. So there'll be like moss and things and hanging plants hanging down from here. I'm also excited because I'm gonna try putting a pothos in the top of this. I don't have a lid for it right now, and I'm gonna plan on cutting like a screen lid out that I can put the pothos roots in, and then hang the pothos on top of the tank, which I think will be really cool. I haven't tried that, but I see a lot of people that do that in those tanks, so I feel like that'll just complete the look of it being like a natural kind of treehouse type vibe. So that's gonna be cool. I'm excited for that project. All right, this is my living room. More plants, plants, plants. I have plants everywhere. Here's my snake plant that I'm proud of. It's grown a lot since I got it. I got it just like at Coburn's and it was pretty small. So yeah, it's grown a lot. And then we've got pothos kind of all over the house. So we had some of those to spare. That's why I want to put it in my one tank. Oh, this tank I'm kind of sad to even show you because it's in a little TLC phase right now, but this is in our living room. We just have this 10-gallon beta tank. So these are all fake plants right now, and the water is really brown, you can see, because I have almond leaves in there for tannins. So the water has a lot of tannins, which tannins are brown. And all of this is because my beta fish, who you can't even see in there because he's hiding, Norman, I have a male beta in here, and he got sick. He has fin rot, so he just finished medications last week. I think Thursday was his last day of medications, and he's doing better. He's got some fin growth going back on. But anyhow, what I did was I took out all the live plants. This used to be a completely planted pretty tank, and now it's got all fake plants, because I took out all of my real plants because the medications are really hard on plants, and I put fake ones in just to make him like comfortable. And then I've been medicating the tank, so he's really grumpy. He's grumpy normally, and he's especially grumpy. This is my living room. You can see I've got pothos vines like on my fireplace, and I've got 2 built-in bookshelves, which I love, and posters and things. I'm kind of a nerd. There's another snake plant, because why not? And then I just got a new frame. Oh, you can't see because of the light. Got a new frame on that painting, which you can't really tell, but it's, there we go. It's Gyarados, and a bunch of Magikarp and the wave, which I kind of love. I think that's fun. I like nerdy things like that. And then I've got it going downstairs where we'll see the rest of my tanks. I've got more pothos vines and pictures and things. That's a nice view. We've got a bunch of plants up there. There's like a yucca tree and a spider plant up there. We're trying to incorporate hanging more of our plants because we have a lot of plants. We have 40 plants all together. And so we're trying to hang more of them, and also like just change where they're positioned by adding grow lights. I'm really excited about that just because right now, you're kind of limited because you got to put them where the sun is. So we're going to try incorporating some grow lights so that we can kind of put them where it looks good and whatnot. So that should be fun. Hey, Sean, can you turn the light on my 90 and my 44 quick? Thank you. This was a very impromptu, not planned at all video. So here's their downstairs. So I am going to show you my current tanks, some of them that are down here, and thank you, and a tank that I'm working on. So this is my downstairs. This is a tank that I am currently working on. This is a 75 gallon that I got again on sale. This one was from PetSmart. The whole ensemble with the stand and everything was on sale. I'm really excited. This is gonna be my goldfish tank. So I hooked up, Sean hooked up for me, a 407 Fluval canister filter. So we've got all the tubes for that all set. And then I just put substrate. I just did very simple black sand substrate for this one. And so I'm actually gonna put water in it and start cycling it today, because a lot of the decorations I can kind of put in after the fact. So I kind of just want to start cycling the water in that tank. We have another fireplace then down here, and my husband's lovely club cracker deer. I'm gonna turn down Mahler so I don't have to try and talk over Mahler, because why not listen to Mahler on Sunday? Anyhow, so that tank, my goldfish tank, the theme in there is, I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be a Mario theme. So I have like little planters that are 3D printed. I did not 3D print these. I bought these on Etsy. But so I have 3 of these, and I'm gonna put plants inside of them. Since goldfish eat plants and uproot things and they're kind of messy and whatnot, I'm gonna try and do a planted tank, but a planted tank that maybe doesn't get destroyed by my goldfish. So I'm gonna put some plants in there. And then this isn't done yet because we ran out of Legos, but we have Bowser's Castle that also will go in there. And a couple of other things that, yeah, should hopefully work out. But so that's gonna be a Mario themed tank, and I think it'll be really fun because I think goldfish are so, I'm gonna do some fancy goldfish. And I think they're so like fun and kind of animated looking anyway, so I think it'll be a really fun theme, and I think that will allow me to keep it pretty simple. I'm gonna put some driftwood and some dragonstone in there too to have a few natural elements, but nothing, you know, with goldfish you have to be really careful not to have too much in the tank, and also not to have any sharp edges because their fins can so easily be torn. So I'll keep it pretty simple, but something I think that'll be fun. So I have more plants over there, of course I do. All right, so that is one of my other projects. Those are the 3 projects I'm working on right now: my beta sorority tank, my goldfish tank, and then my office tank, which is just gonna be a pea puffer. Tanks that I already have up and running, just to give you guys an idea, a little show of those tanks. So my biggest tank I have is this 90-gallon tank. So this is my 90-gallon community tank. This was one of my first of the tanks that I currently have. I upgraded from a 29-gallon to this 90-gallon. My 29-gallon actually just had my beta fish that's upstairs, not 10-gallon now. So when I upgraded, I bought that 10-gallon for him and put him in there because I'm not really experienced enough where I wanted to try and put a beta in a community tank. And I also didn't want to just give him 90 gallons for himself. So I did that, which that kind of started my what people call multiple tank syndrome. I all had 2 tanks, and it's kind of just grown since then. So yeah, that happened. But here's my 90-gallon community. This is all planted. It's planted with dragonstone and some wood, some different driftwoods and some spider wood, and then I've got like a couple of dinosaur decorations. Besides those decorations, everything's pretty natural. There is one fake piece of driftwood in there that I just had, so I've used that. Otherwise, everything in there is natural. I tried to go for a very natural look. So yeah, that was fun. And like I said, it's a community tank, so I've got mostly, I shouldn't say mostly, I have all community fish in here. You can see my rainbow shark there. He's probably one of my favorite fish. Chino, my rainbow shark, he is way cool, and he's gonna get way bigger. He has grown so much since he was a baby, and he's gonna be about 6 inches, and he's kind of the boss of the tank. He chases around the other little fish when they try and mess with him. So he's pretty cool. I like him a lot. And then all of these guys, these are Bosemani rainbow fish. I have a school of Bosemani rainbow fish in here. I think I have 7 Bosemani. I wanted to have 10. I lost one of them at one point. Just kind of disappeared. And then two, the first Basmati, I don't know if you can see back there, but the first two Basmati fish I bought, I don't believe are Basmati. I think they're Australian. They were sold to me from the pet store as Basmati, but they're not colored like Basmati at all, so I think they're Australian. So I just have a school of rainbow fish that have a couple of, I call them my mystery rainbow fish. So there's that. Other than that, in this tank, I have a ton of mollies, as you can probably see. I started out with like 5 mollies, and mollies reproduce. So I've got like, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 litters of molly fish in there, which I love my mollies. They're fun fish, and they do such a good job. They clean the plants for me. They like pick all the algae off my live plants that are in here, and they're just kind of cool fish. So I like them. And then I've got 2 blue gouramis, and I've got a bristlenose pleco that is hanging off of that. That's the cuttlefish bone, that white thing back there, that Alton, my bristlenose pleco, he's albino, so he's kind of lit up right now with the lights. But my bristlenose pleco is hanging off back there. And my blue gouramis, I'm hoping you saw, oh, there's one. They're kind of shy, but they're that big fish with the 2 big whiskers. Yeah, he's shy. Both of my blue gouramis are pretty shy, so they're cool. They're probably the biggest fish in there right now. They'll also be about 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches. So there'll be 2 of the biggest fish in there, but it's funny because they're kind of shy, so you don't see them as often as some of the others. So that's my big community tank. That is, oh, hey, one of my snails. This is my biggest nearite snail. This is Jerry, and this is one of my smaller nearite snails. I've got a bunch of, I put nearites in all of my tanks because they're good cleaners. Then over here, this is pretty boring. I've got my 2 hospital tanks. So I keep hospital tanks for sick fish, or for if like you need to quarantine fish. When I buy my fish, I like to quarantine them because you don't want to put new fish in a big tank like this and risk, if your new fish, you buy them sick. You don't want to get all of your healthy fish sick. So we quarantine. So yeah, not much going on. These are just 2 10-gallon tanks, and you don't want to do live plants in case you have to medicate them. So they're really boring. They're glass bottoms too. I don't put any substrate because also depending on what you're treating, you don't really want substrate, because if you fish have like parasites or something, they can like hide in the substrate. So this is just like more efficient, like a hospital. I do have 2 sick molly fish that I think are just gonna possibly be perpetually sick. I think they might have like lymphocystis, which is like pretty much incurable, but also contagious and rarely fatal. So they might just permanently be in quarantine. We'll see. I'm gonna try a new medication treatment to see if that helps, because it's hard to say for sure if that's exactly what they have or if they have something else. So I'm going to try, I think, like a fin and body cure and see how they respond to that. And we'll go and see how that goes. This tank here, you probably can't see, but there's 2 little cherry barbs in here. This was sad. So this was a good reason. This is like the prime example of why you have quarantine tanks. I started out with like 10 cherry barbs that I just got from like a big chain fish store. And I lost 8 of them. So I noticed when I bought them, I should have known better. I noticed one of them looked kind of sick. But I thought, I'll get him in some better water parameters, get some stress coat, and whatnot, and maybe he'll be okay. And no, I kind of slowly lost them. But I did some medication treatments. I added some extra oxygen with like an air stone, and I did a bunch of stuff. And it seems like I maybe salvaged 2 of them. It's been a week now, and I haven't lost any more since last Saturday, was the last time that the last barb died. So we'll see. Hopefully they're out of the woods, but I'm definitely going to keep them in there for at least a few more weeks before adding them to any of my communities, because I want to make sure that they're completely healthy before I move them. So that's what's going on in that quarantine tank right now. My other tank, my last tank that I'm going to show you is a 44-gallon corner tank community tank, which is right here. So this is my 44-gallon community tank. I did like it's probably hard to see. I did like a mountain passage theme with this, which is probably even harder to see today because it's a maintenance day. So I haven't cleaned this tank or fixed it yet. I fix this tank every week because my fish like to drag that like black Eco-Complete into the path. So you can it's probably even hard to see where the path is, but I have like a sandy winding path that goes up to those rocks in the back, and then sand up here, and then obviously plants and stuff. So yeah, so I have in this tank, it's just a smaller community tank. I've got 10 neon tetras, a few mollies, because I like to have mollies in all my tanks because they're, like I said, good cleaner fish for like my plants. And then I've got Mr. Huckles, a German blue ram, which is kind of the purpose of this tank. I wanted that to be my centerpiece fish. I wanted to try a dwarf cichlid, so that's my German blue ram, which his colors aren't looking super great right now, but I've noticed he changes his colors because during feeding time his stripes get really dark and he gets really iridescent and pretty. So I don't know, he's still pretty new in the tank. I quarantined him and all that good stuff, but I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. He seems happy for the most part. So yeah, that's kind of what I got going in there. Oh, and I have 2 panda cories. I don't know if you can see on the bottom there. I've got 2 panda cories. I will get about 4 more of those, so I have a school of 6. I've just had a really hard time when I bought those 2. Those were the only 2 that the store had, so I bought them out of them, and since then I've had a hard time finding them in stock anywhere, so I will finish that off. For plants in here, I didn't talk about that on my last tank. For plants in here, I have mostly hardy plants since I do have my German blue ram in there. I heard cichlids can dig plants up, so I tried to do really hardy plants, which he actually leaves everything alone pretty well. But I have some Amazon swords, I have a couple Java ferns, I have an Anubis, some dwarf sag. I forget exactly what that's called, but sag is like the abbreviation. Oh, and jungle val. I have jungle val in the back that grows like weeds. And then Java moss, because moss is cool. I have a lot of moss in my 90-gallon back there on like the driftwood because it is pretty cool. So yeah, those are my tanks. So I have 5 up and running and 3 that I'm working on right now. So yeah, so I am gonna do some tank maintenance today. Some water changes on my bigger tanks. I usually split up and do all of my little tanks, my 10 gallons on Saturday and my big tanks on Sunday. And today is an especially exciting day because I'm going to get this goldfish tank up and running. I'm going to take the sponges out of this canister tank and put them in my goldfish tank so that it kind of kickstarts the cycle so it doesn't take as long to cycle. So that will be exciting because I'm going to do some regular maintenance mixed with some new setups. So I will have to show you guys my new setups when it gets closer to that time. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful Sunday, if it's Sunday in your world.